Not even an open goal could help Wrexham score. I'm sorry, Longman, but how did you miss that? Oh, welcome back to Where Red Dragons Walk with myself, Luke, and today we've got Steve and Ed talking all things Wrexham, including this week's A to Z. Ed, let's start with that chance. How has he not scored?
I don't know. It's one of them. The goal was more or less fully open, and it was a great, easy chance to put us one up. And up until then in the game, it was fairly even, Stephen. Nothing much had happened. It wasn't the best game overall anyway. But that really would have given us a great platform to build on. And maybe that would have been the difference between 3 points and the none that we took. And following that chance, I don't think we ever really looked likely to score. Really, that was the chance.
Yeah. It comes to big moments, doesn't it? Especially, the Championship can be quite lethal for stuff like that. These chances come, and if you miss them, it can really be critical. Steve, what did you think to the chance, mate? I mean, would you have scored that?
Look, I'm not gonna be too insulting here, but what we essentially coach kids that are at my daughter's levels right now is when you've got a PK or you got a wide open net, pass the ball hard into the net. Just pass the ball. You don't have to rip into it. But it kind of spoke to our passing accuracy yesterday too, right? So maybe he was trying to pass it into the net, and that's where he hit because we were not connecting, and that was a yawning cage. I can't believe he duffed it, but hey, you'll get the next one. You'll get the next one.
Yeah, keep trying. This actually, you touched on it there, a bit of sloppiness in the play, Steve. What do you think, Ed? I mean, even players like O'Brien, who've been quite consistent performers, he looks quite sloppy. I think throughout the team, there's a lot of errors, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, I think Steve made a great point there. It really did sum up our performance. And I think Parky must have wondered what was going on because, as you say, O'Brien's been absolutely fantastic, so reliable, but very easy passes that you'd expect players a lot lower than the Championship to make. We were just over-hitting passes, under-hitting passes, passing the ball out of play. It was really, really sloppy. It was definitely, I feel it was our worst performance in terms of just the simple things, the simple passes. We were just making a hash of them. And that pretty much was all game. And I don't know why. I just think maybe it was one of those days. I don't know if it's a bit of pressure on the team. I'm not sure exactly why, but it wasn't just O'Brien. I wouldn't just single him out. He had a poor game for how great he's been. But other players, terrible. And it really was summed up by their goal. It was just a catalogue of errors. Very basic things. But it was quite an embarrassing goal to concede for a number of the players, to be fair.
Yeah, no, you're right. It wasn't obviously just O'Brien. There was errors and sloppiness throughout. It looks a bit leggy as well, and it starts to question what happened in the national break. Firstly, Steve, do you think the national break came at a bad time? Wrexham were just starting to get the form going.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement because we played a lot of matches in a short period of time. We were finding our rhythm. We were looking like an offensive threat again. We looked like we were starting to get that well-oiled machine feel back to this squad. And we were hitting passes. We were aggressive. And then it's like after the international break, we just regressed back. And, like I said, I feel bad for Kiefer Moore, who's already has, the weight of the world on his shoulders with this team. Like he's already looking worn out. And then he has to go play some international matches and get thrown right back in again. Yeah, I think this definitely did impact the team as well as our injured players. Like the nice thing was they were able to come back, but they haven't played with this team and practiced a lot with them, right? So they just weren't in sync. So yeah, I think it was the international break for us was the worst timing in the world as far as our rhythm of play went.
Yeah. What do you think, Ed? Because like I said, I touched on it earlier. I think the players looked a little bit leggy. Do you think the players that were kept behind? Do you think Parky might have ran them into the ground a little bit, trying to get into too much? What do you think was the issue with the game?
I'm really, really puzzled by it because Parkinson's teams are always hard to beat. They're tough to beat, and we don't normally concede these sloppy goals. But it just looked, it was mistake after mistake. And I don't know if that is fatigue. I'm not sure if it is the international breaks. Surely in the case of Kiefer Moore, I could understand. But it's not as if we've got 11 players going on international duty. It's 2 or 3. A lot of players, as Steve has just said, have come back from injury. But just the basics were just not there. I mean, you look at Doyle slices a clearance to kick the ball out. Then Longman doesn't shut down for the cross, which ended up being a goal, but I think was probably more of a cross, but it goes into Kiefer Moore's feet. O'Conquering goal doesn't save it. It's just one thing after another. And you expect, if one of those things doesn't happen, and each one is really, really a poor error, it's not a goal. But just watching it, I was just getting so frustrated with the simple, just passing from A to B, passing in triangles. It just wasn't happening. It was really, really poor, and I'm sure Parkinson probably laid into them a bit after that game, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's obviously the mistakes need to be eradicated, especially going into the double game week that we've got coming up. So Oxford at home, we'll chat about that one first. Steve, what do you think? Is that a must-win game?
Oh, we're getting to the point where they are must-win games, especially when we've got somebody, lower in the standing than us right now. So we've got to come away with 3 points in this one. We can't keep dropping points, or else we're treading near the relegation zone, right? So the next 3 to 4 matches are massive for us. We've got to come away with points, and in almost every single game here coming up.
What's your score prediction, Steve? What are you going to go for the Oxford?
Oh, I think Parky's going to light those boys on up, and they're going to be a heck of a lot more focused. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 win here for Wrexham.
I like it. I love the optimism. Love it. What about you, Ed? What are you thinking?
I'm not as optimistic as Steve, but I love it. I really hope Steve's right. My big worry, we've been such a fantastic team at home over the past 3 years. We've been almost unbeatable at home. It's been a fortress. We still haven't won yet. We're nearly at the end of October. I know we've won in the League Cup, but we haven't won a league game. I think this is a highly pressurised match, because if we don't win, our match after that's Middlesbrough away. Doesn't get much tougher than that. So my prediction, I take a 1-0. I know it's a bit boring, but if we could get a clean sheet as well, I think we've only done that once, I think, this season in the league. But yeah, I love Steve's score, and I hope you're right, Steve.
You're right, though, because it depends. It goes down to the fact that you obviously haven't won at home all season. So it's just to get that buck off your neck a little bit and just sort of get that win. It doesn't matter how you get it, whether it's a beautiful 3-0 win like Steve said, or whether it's a 1-0 scrappy, Kiefer Moore. Do you know what I mean? Whatever it is, it's just getting them 3 points is important, especially because the next game is Borough away, Steve, which the Riverside is a hard place to go, especially at the moment. Yeah,
well, again, we really got to focus on one match at a time. Just focus on the one that's directly in front of us, right, before we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. They need to come out hard. Like I said, I can't see a performance like we saw last week, or just last week. I'm trying to put it that far to my memory. We just saw yesterday. They need to put that one behind them and then really get fired up for this match. That's why I'm predicting a higher score, because I think they're going to come out just firing. I think we're gonna come out effective early on, and then get a couple of goals early on in the match to really help it for us. So
okay, so let's say you get your 3-0 win against Oxford. What is your score prediction for Borough? What are we going with?
That one I'll be more conservative with a 2-1 win for Wrexham here.
2-1. Back-to-back wins. Love it. Oh,
yeah, we need it. We need it.
What's in that cup that you're drinking, Steve? Just quick.
Oh, that's just this one's water. Remember, I live in the desert, everybody. So like I drink this within 10 minutes, and then I've got then my coffee chaser. But I'm not that drunk. It's only 11 o'clock here.
Ed, what do you think? Like Borough away, it's a difficult game.
Oh yeah, sorry, Steve. I'm going to be the downer with that. I think it's really tougher, but I don't fancy us to win there. I really hope I'm wrong, but I go for maybe a 3-1 defeat. But I'm with you, Steve. I want Steve to be right.
Yeah. There's hope right, but
Ed, I'm going to get you an arm bracelet that says, "I hope Steve is right."
Oh, lovely boys. Right, well, like I said, if you can pick up 3 points from them 2 games. I personally think that's a good return. Right, let's move on. Something that's been in the news lately, and I think talking about Middlesbrough, I think they're the latest team to do it. It seems to be a bit of a trend at the minute about modernising and changing the badges and the crest of the team. I get that the clubs are doing it for the away kits and a little bit different, fine. But when it's the home kit, the crest, the sacred badge, do you really want the club tampering with that? How important, Ed, is it to you, the Wrexham badge?
It recently changed in terms of the years. So a few years ago, we found out that the club was older than what we thought. So it did change just in terms of the little detail of the year 1864. I'm a bit of we're the 3rd oldest club in the world. I like to stick with the traditional badge. The only thing that there is a little bit of the fan base that they're not massively keen on the Prince of Wales feathers. So there's a bit of controversy. It's going on a bit in Welsh rugby as well. So there's a little bit of that. So there is a minority, I would say, of the fan base that would like to see that changed. Me personally, I just would like to see it left alone. I'm finding these circle badges at the moment that seem to be very trendy, quite boring. It seems to be the same kind of thing. And I really hope we don't go for anything like that in the future.
Yeah, it's so simplistic, isn't it? It's just a circle with the lettering in. So, in many cases, yeah, it's not ideal. What about for yourself, Steve? Obviously, you're a newer fan. Does the badge still hold quite a sacred? Like I said, Ed was talking about the history of the club.
Yeah, so I'll compare this to ice hockey. So I'm a huge Montreal Canadiens fan, the oldest team in the NHL. You don't touch their crest. You just don't touch it. There's a lot of alternate jerseys to sell extra merchandise, for the team, but we never touch our logo. Now, but going back to what Ed said about the Prince of Wales, yes, if anything is going to be switched up, it would be just that one portion of it, right? But it's a long-standing crest. You just leave it alone. So if they remove that, they had something interesting put up there, something that's more reflective of Wales in there, then I'd be okay with it. But I'm going to leave this one up to the long-term fans because I'm too new and I am not imposing my will on this one bit whatsoever.
I think they all appreciate that. But yeah, everyone's got their right to the opinion. Right, we are now moving on to this week's A to Z. So we are on the letter C. We'll start with you, Steve. We'll start with you. Who is your letter C for the Red Dragons?
All right, newer guy, Kakachi. We just need him we need him fit, ready, locked and loaded for the rest of this season. We just need him focused because he's a huge part of our plans, and I'd like to see a great performance out of him next week.
Strong. What about you, Ed? What's your letter C for Wrexham?
You know me, I always go back quite far with the faded hairline. For me, we signed a player from Napoli called Carl Connolly, but the Napoli were a Liverpool Sunday League team. But he signed for Wrexham in the 90s and was absolutely phenomenal. He was a left winger. Good. He was only about 5'9", 5'10", but amazing in the air as well. Such a tricky player. We played good attacking football. So for me, it links up to my letter B one. It was Gary Bennett. They played in the same team. So you can kind of tell the era, when I was a teenager, many of my favourite players are from that kind of the 90s era.
Love that.
So I got to interject here, Ed. What I'm going to have to do when I'm over the pond is meet with people like you, and you can go over the history of the club with me and talk about your favorite old players so I can watch some clips.
Yeah.
You'll need a lot of time.
You did say third oldest club in the so yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm not the third oldest person, Luke.
Oldest club. Right, tweet of the week, guys. So tweet of the week is a little bit of a different one. It's mainly just sort of going into looking into the next couple of games. It was sort of this particular Wrexham fan wants to see a bit of a change. It is got to start Broadhead on Wednesday, and Kiefer Moore does need resting, which actually touches on Steve's point. What do you think? Are we a fan of Broadie? Is he someone that's gonna once he gets up and running, is he going to be a game changer for you, Ed?
I think the beginning of the season, he didn't look fit at all, really. But now we've seen glimpses of him coming on as sub. He came on for Wales. He scored. He looked good yesterday when he came on. I think one of the first things he did was nutmeg someone. He's a quality footballer. So for me, yeah, Broadhead will be an absolute. I'd love to see him start. The problem with resting Keith for more is who do you replace him with? Then it really does require quite a change. One of the things I thought they might have kept Stephen Fletcher. They let him go, but he would have been the ideal person to come on. I know he was 38, but he would reflect a little bit of how Moore plays. I don't think we've got anyone that plays like Moore, so it would be a real change. Maybe it would be Smith up front with Windass and Broadhead just behind. But yeah, I know definitely Kiefer Moore is so much a Parky type player. He's playing so well. As Steve has said, he does look quite tired. I don't see it changing for the Oxford game, though. I think Moore will still be there, but hopefully we can fit Broadhead in as well.
Yeah. What do you think to Broadhead, Steve? Is he a player? He's a game changer, isn't he?
Yeah, and you got to give him his minutes now. I think he's beyond a super sub, right? We do want guys coming off the bench that can make a immediate impact in the game. But you've got to give him a chance now. Like every time he's coming in, he's making an impact. So let's watch him play the first, 70 minutes of a match and see what he can do, right? So he's definitely earned it. He's 100% earned it. And going back to the Kiefer Moore, like Ed brought a tear to my eye speaking about, Scottish Samurai Jesus. I would have loved to have seen him in this squad again, because he would have been the perfect fit. Like he wouldn't have complained coming in at the 75th minute again to come in and do stuff, right? So I think in the January transfer window, we've got to address that issue. We need somebody else coming in behind Kiefer Moore that plays the similar style that can, that can get stuck in, hold the ball up, and and shoulder the team.
Yeah, 100%. I think you both are right, and I think you're right, Ed, in terms of I think Kiefer Moore will 100% play against Oxford because it's an important game, isn't it? And so you're going to need to, even if he's a bit tired, use him for the Oxford game, maybe rest him for Borough. If you go in there with kind of, you're thinking you might not get anything, sort of maybe rest him for Borough. But yeah, obviously it's an important game. Talking about important games, Steve, you got a little shout out for a family member.
Yes, my niece Molly Hale is playing in Morocco today for the Women's World Cup, the U17. So she's starting. She's tough as nails. I would love to see her. She got her first goal for Canada in a friendly and one of the warm-ups, a nice banger right into the top shelf. So she's a versatile player, good with both feet, can play almost any position out there. So come on, Molly in Canada, let's go get the win today. I'm keeping the F-bombs down, but it's an LFG Canada. Let's go.
Come on, good luck, Molly. All the best.
Good luck.
I'm sure you'll get the result. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching at home. Please like and subscribe, and please get involved in the comments below. Let us know your letter C for this week's A to Z.